good, y'all? We up in this motherfucker, man. Jedi theories back again, man. You know what I mean? Back up in some shelter for a minute. It's raining out here in these Texas streets, man. It just won't stop. It just won't motherfucking stop, man. It been raining for about a month straight. No bullshit. We going on damn near 2 months of rain. We get probably a day or two of sunshine, and then here come the sprinkles, and then here come the thunder, and then the storm. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, um, that's really what I've been. That's really why I've been. This rain has made me sit back and kind of reconstruct the way I want to do shit. As far as me being a nobody in this world, I can't give too much of my energy, to white man's platform. You know what I'm saying? I can't come every day to the platform and, you know what I'm saying, draining myself, finding time after work to do this and that, and then after I do the videos, I still got shit to do. And I'm not getting, this is not monetary at this point. This is therapy. So I feel like when I got the time to sit down and actually construct a topic and actually sit the fuck down, you know what I'm saying, I'll come to the platform every day for a different reason, probably. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want to work on my creative juices. You know what I'm saying? I got comedic thoughts. You know what I'm saying? I got shit I just want to work on. I'm an entertainer of some sorts. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I want to do something. I want to rap. I want to work on comedic type of stuff, or becoming a comedian or some shit, or doing. I don't really want to play with that. As far as being a comedian, I don't want to play with that genre. But a comedic writer or something like that, man, I fuck with comedy. Tough, you know. But in these times, I've been trying to find myself. You know what I'm saying? These times of solitude that I'm in, I've been trying to just figure myself out. And within figuring myself out, I'm realizing that the life I want to live is not a normal one, and I can't. Right now I gotta continue living how I'm living, but in the future, man, I can't. These risks that I'm taking, I gotta be fearless. You know, I gotta actually make shit count when I do something. From now on, 29, I'm not playing with these motherfuckers. I'm doing everything. I'm adding everything up that I didn't do in my 20s in this last bit of my 20s, in this last part. So when I turn 30, nigga, we walking straight into success. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even trying to put age on. I'm not trying to put age on my success or nothing. But I'm just saying, I know I've been bullshitting through my 20s, thinking I can stay young. Now I'm looking. I'm like, damn. I'm really, this is a cancerous way to live. You know, when you can't help your people. I mean, you can't help your people out. You can't help your mama. You know what I'm saying? You going through shit with my possible child. I can't even get this off of me because I ain't got enough bread. So you sit back and you realize, oh, I've been wasting major time. You know? So, but anyway, that's just a little foresight, a little insight of what Zilla been going through, or what I've been thinking about. But today we talking about reality versus fantasy. Shouldn't take long to break this down. See, I want to start it off like this. Lighten this blunt. I want to start off like this. What is reality? Reality is just like damn near everything else. It's all what you perceive it to be. If you think all women ain't shit, that's going to be your reality. If you think all niggas ain't shit, that's going to be your reality. If you think weed is a bad drug, that's how you will perceive it. That's how it'll come off in your world. You'll actually probably bump into people that dislike weed as well, because that's the way you're moving on this earth. So that's your reality. Just like a nigga that like weed I tend to bump in there people that fuck with weed. You know what I'm saying? So it's my reality. Marijuana is a part of my life. It ain't got to be a part of yours. Marijuana is not part of your reality. So what I'm trying to say is, what isn't a part of our reality, we shouldn't try to change it. The only way we should try to change it is if it's harassing our sense of reality, or if it's harming how we get through our sense of reality. You know, and I'm not necessarily saying if your sense of reality needs a wake up call, and somebody wakes you trying to wake you up, and you're stubborn, then that's on you for having a fucked up reality, or being stubborn to realize that what you may be what you deem reality may be a fantasy. Which steps into the verses, which steps into my next point. What is fantasy? A fantasy is something that you want to be real. You feel what I'm saying? A fantasy is something that you hope will come true and step into your reality. And a lot of people are chasing a fantasy and claiming that it is reality, or it had existed in reality already. Now, see, a fantasy doesn't exist. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. The fantasy is something that you can try to make happen, but it being a fantasy means it'll never come true. It'll never fully come true the way that your brain is trying to make it. A fantasy. See, having realistic goals is not a fantasy. I'm not trying to say if your fantasy if you got a fantasy of if you got like a basic fantasy like I want to eat Rihanna's ass, that's possible. Okay? But the fantasy in it is the fact that the nigga that after a nigga do it one time, he might feel like he's going to continuously doing it. I mean, he's going to get to continuously do it. No, she might just let you do it one time. So the fantasy is you hoping that you can continue to do it, even if you do get it one time. It's always a fantasy gonna come after reality. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like a lot of men and women are living in. Let me get to my point. To the point I'm trying to make with the Rihanna shit. Let me start right there. The reality is me being broke, I can't get a Rihanna. That's the reality. I can't get a Rihanna. The reality is women want to be provided for. They want to be stabilized. They want to be secure. They want to make sure that you can secure the bag. They want that to be secure as well. They want that thought to be secure in their own head so they can throw it around to their friends like, bitch, I ain't gonna never go broke. That's exactly what the fuck they want. I ain't gonna never be struggling. If you can't give a woman that, your black ass, especially if you want a woman, your black ass need to be building the foundation for you to grab a woman that you want. That's the reality. Reality ain't, nigga, they don't give a fuck about your heart, nigga. Your heart only gonna mean something if you coming with something. If that makes sense. If you come with something that make her heart flutter, she gonna worry about your heart then, and then you gotta stabilize it. You know what I'm saying? And I can honestly say I was trying to opt out of fucking with or like being with a providing for women in a type of way. You know what I'm saying? I know that you gotta it's going you gotta be generous when it comes to women. Or you gonna end up you gotta pay something and you gotta protect something when it comes to women. So now I'm off of the focus of talking about the ones that don't deserve my protection. And I'm focusing more on what I need to change about gravitating towards the woman that I want. So back to my point. The reality is me being homeless, I'm not finna get shit. I'm not finna get no woman of value right now. I can get a woman's acceptance to be like, oh yeah, you strong, stay up king, you know what I'm saying, all that shit. You get that every blue moon. The motherfucker be, I mean, you get that every 2 weeks. I mean, every 2 days or something. A motherfucker calling you king or some shit. But I salute that shit. But I'm saying ain't no pussy finna come my way, and ain't no assistance finna come a nigga way when you in my position. That's reality. Here goes the fantasy. Let's just say if I wanted to go fuck with a Rihanna, or I wanted a bad bitch, or whatever, or I wanted to get a woman that got her shit together right now. That's damn near a fantasy because I can get the woman, but I can't keep her. The fantasy is the fact that me thinking I'm gonna get a quality woman in an unqualified position, that's fantasy. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucking fantasy. The fantasy, another reality versus fantasy thing is the reality is money means something. The reality is whoever the fuck created money and the currency to make this shit matter so much did his job, manifested this, and now money is a fucking factor. A fantasy is wishing it wasn't. That's a fantasy. It's a hell of a fantasy. I sit around and think about it all day. Like, damn, I wish this shit didn't matter like that. I wish I can just walk in with my face card, nigga be like, you know what? Just go up in the hotel for free, man. That's a fantasy right there. You see what I'm saying? Let me check this out. The only way you can change, the only way you can make a fantasy a reality is if you kind of spend your lifetime trying to make that shit come true. Don't think I'm saying, don't try to make your fantasy a reality. I'm not trying to shit on nobody's dreams on this episode. I'm trying to tell people to look at your fantasy and pull the unrealistic shit away from it and manifest as much into reality out of the fantasy as you can. That's really what I'm saying. But until you can decipher what's a fantasy and a reality, you might be lost on what the fuck you chasing. See, it's some motherfuckers out here, like I just said, it's motherfuckers that I'm gonna keep it basic because we can go deep, but I ain't got enough time. A nigga can chase the woman, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he can get the woman, he can chase her. Reality is, oh damn, I fucked up damn, man, I lost my point, man. Anyway, I had something to say, fuck. But anyway, the reality versus fantasy. The only way you can bring something to reality is if you take the unrealistic shit out of you. That's what I was finna say. Some people lead with the fantasy and try to bring. I mean, some people lead with their reality and try to bring reality in the fantasy, or try to make fantasy. I said that wrong. Some people try to make the fantasy the reality. They trying to say, oh, you should be this kind of man. You should be this kind of woman. Oh, you don't want to move like this? You don't want to move like that? I'm gone. I'll find somebody who will. That's a fucking fantasy. Because ain't nobody finna bow down to that shit, bitch. That's what I'm saying. Ain't nobody finna bow down to that shit. No one is gonna bow down to a narcissistic, manipulating, conniving, deceiving ass motherfucker, controlling ass bitch. No. A real nigga gonna renege, and then the nigga that do conform to that shit, you gonna get tired of him, and your fantasy will be crushed. My deepest fantasy is getting some pussy right now, because that shit seeming impossible, but because of my reality, you see what I'm saying? You see how that shit kind of click on and off? If your reality fucked up, nigga, you ain't even gonna get nowhere near close to fantasy that you got in your head. It ain't that I can't get no pussy, but it's just when you in these shoes, after you get the pussy, and then however you get the pussy to get to you, you gonna feel less of a man. If you didn't go pick it up and bring it and take it back home, you ain't gonna feel like no man. I don't be doing all that come fuck me shit. That's some bitch shit. I'd rather go pull up, tell her, hey, I got a room, boom, 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 slide. That's what it is with me. But Some people try to lead with their fantasy and be like, no, my fantasy gonna come true, and they die unhappy. My thing is, you may not be able to get your fantasy until you die. We don't know what happens after death. They got many ways. The comedic people or the comedic gods tried to come. They got their own theory on it. We ain't dead yet, so we don't know if it's true. But hey, who's to say they wrong? But you know, yeah. Reality is we don't know much, and we only know what we know. So we always ignorant to something. That's all I be trying to say. So make sure you're leading with your reality and not the fantasy, and try to bring your fantasy and try to bring as much as the creativity from your fantasy into reality to show that you're different. That's what I'm doing. My fantasy is really to evolve out of what I'm going through right now and really become important to the world. Like lend the hand that I can lend to the world. I want to become resourceful. I want to become abundant in cash. All that shit. Everything got to be legit with me. But the thing is, the reality is, I got to grind to get to that. A fantasy would be me sitting here saying that since I said that it should happen. That's the no. Hell no. But one thing is true. Everything that's in my fantasy is not gonna come true. I want to make sure that I'm trying to end world homelessness because me going through this. Shout out to brother Ben. He said something about that. I think brother Farrakhan said this or something like that. And God will send you the most high powers or whatever you want to call it. I call it the universe. The universe will send you through some shit to show you what it's like so you can have an opinion on it. Me being homeless is motherfuckers that's scared to go through what I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Somebody's at the motherfucking door. But yeah. What I really was saying, to clarify what I was saying, is motherfucker, I go through what I'm going through. The universe may be sending me through this. So I can be a voice for people that are scared to go through this or are about to go through this or going through this at the moment. You feel what I'm saying? It's people out there that fear going homeless and they look at me going through this as I couldn't go through that, man. Damn. And how can I stay out of it? Let me tell you. Don't turn down no helping hands. And I'm saying make sure that they helping you. Make sure it's like genuine. Because y'all know my situation. There was a motherfucker swearing they was gonna help me out, but the shit was all manipulation based. You know what I'm saying? And I got it all through in my face. So you gotta watch out. And when that shit happened, I ain't know how to handle the shit. I was against the world for a moment. But what I'm trying to tell y'all is this. Whatever you going through, your struggle is for your voice for the people that's going through similar things, and that's a vessel for you to be a voice for. I'm a voice for the homeless, so that's why I said I'm trying to do one of the most impossible things in the world, which is a fantasy, and that's in homelessness. That's a fantasy for everybody, mostly everybody, in hunger and homelessness. But in America, with 3Ks, there might be a fantasy forever, and that's a reality. So, y'all have a good one. I'll return on my next off day, whenever the fuck that is. And y'all stay getting money. Fix y'all teeth out there. Take care of your body, your skin, your hair. Stay away from the motherfuckers that don't care. I'm out. Deuces. Oh yeah. And I fucked your mama.